To me, the arch theme and lessons learned of this week, but for everyone riveted in the nation by affordability, is going to be the turnout on the elections, plural, to come. Do you have any visibility on the turnout of the midterms in November?
Well, we have conventional wisdom, which is that the energy is with the Democrats. The question is, are they running for something, or are they simply running against Donald Trump? And that's going to help to animate that turnout as to what in the world it is that he says at the last minute here, because even look at Texas, where you saw Democrats turning out ahead of Republicans in primary elections. We're going to be in Florida on Tuesday. That's a little bit less significant in this particular conversation. But where's the price of gas on Election Day? We're above $4 a gallon right now. We're at $4.14 here in New York, and I checked that today because the president's going to Garden City. You know Garden City.
Sure.
It's only 18 miles from here, and it bears no resemblance to this city. He'll be surrounded by first responders, and he's not going to be talking about affordability. He's talking about crime.
But in Garden City, he's surrounded by people that own a BMW and a Mercedes in the garage. The Republicans can't win with that audience, can they?
Well, so why is he going there is a big question today, because the affordability argument has not been landing. He calls it a Democratic hoax. You're looking at the data, Tom. You know better.
Well, we're looking at the data, and the data show that retail sales for the month of July fell unexpectedly. Lily Meyer, you cover specialty retailers for Bloomberg News, and you cover a lot of the big aspirational brands. Does what you see in this retail sales report mesh with what you've been reporting on when it comes to these specific companies?
Yeah, so we reported just a few weeks ago that Under Armour saw softness in trends, and we've been seeing, kind of a mixed consumer picture over the last few months. Many of the retailers still are yet to report, so it'll be really interesting to hear if they say a similar thing and are seeing softness. But yes, Under Armour said they were seeing softer demand, so I'm curious to see what other retailers will say and if they echo that.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering as well, as we see this K-shaped economy, the divide growing ever wider. You've also been reporting on how even when it comes to people's hobbies, those that can afford it are splurging big time. The running culture, for instance, has gone way upscale.
Yeah, we wrote a story about, high-end running spending. So, instead of shopping at places that are a little bit more affordable, like your Nikes, your Adidas, shoppers are buying $350 running shorts.
Okay, the world's different. When you were at Bates College, it was a road trip of 25 miles to go to Freeport, Maine, to go to LL Bean drunk at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Whoa.
Don't tell me you've never done that.
24 hours.
Okay, it's like 24 miles, over you go, shopping, power shopping, 2 a.m. in the morning. That retail day is gone, isn't it? Everybody wants to go fancy now.
Yeah, it's a totally different retail scene, and I think running is a really good example. People are spending wild amounts of money to sweat in these items, and a $450 running vest or a $150 t-shirt that has holes in it, so people want items.
What Joe and I knew was a $14 sweatshirt.
That's right.
From LSU, from Filene's basement.
And a Burton Eye record from LLB.
Exactly.
Isabel, let me bring you into this conversation, because what you've been writing about is as folks are spending $350 on Nike mesh shorts or perhaps higher brands, you have a lot of wealth advisors and influencers using social media to really talk up how the wealthy, the rich, are saving a lot of money on taxes. And that's something that ordinary people are basically eating up.
Ordinary people, maybe because they want to buy $100 Lululemon pants when they go to their yoga classes, they want more money in their pocket. So tax alpha, that's a strategy used for, usually reserved for the ultra high net worth and hedge funds. Basically think of tax alpha as maximizing your after-tax returns, not your pre-taxes. If someone tells me they're making $500,000 a year, I'm like, but how much of that?
Am I singeing you with the steam coming out of my ears? We're managing money to make losses?
That's what some people do. So now these strategies are being marketed to retail investors in TikTok and YouTube and on Instagram. And retail investors are eating this up. Some firms are lowering as much as as little as $1,000. But you have some people saying that it's not worth it unless you have $1 million.
Put the Bloomberg money cork in my mouth.
I know. Well,
because you do manufacture losses so that you will have more take-home pay.
But this whole strategy ties people ever closer to their wealth advisors because these are not easy strategies. These are complicated strategies.
They're very complex strategies. Some include shorting stocks, some include borrowing money because you have to, again, manufacture the losses. And this is a story done by my great colleagues, Charlie Wells and Denita Tekova. And we talked to some people, and some of them are really into it, but some are like, no, it's not worth it if you don't have $1 million at the very least.
I come back to the idea that it really is about inflation for, whether you're at the top of the income spectrum or the bottom of the income spectrum. And Joe, we had data this week that showed inflation slowed, but it's still above 3%. We know cost of living is top of mind for voters. I'm not sure where it ranks for the president, who's obviously trying to end the war in Iran and wants a perpetrator for what's going on with the reflecting pool. Is it a priority for the rest of the Republican Party?
It's a huge priority. Yeah, we're going to talk to Mike Flood later on. Main Street Caucus, Nebraska. It's the only thing he's worried about. He's hoping I'll ask him about the housing bill that they got passed. The president refused to sign. There's a massive disconnect here as the president suggests that affordability is a Democratic hoax and has previously said that they won on affordability. The part I don't get is after that tape this week, we didn't hear anything from the president. There was no victory lap. There wasn't even a boring statement from the communications office. So you almost get the sense that the White House has stopped caring about it.
I've got to ask, because it's such news front and center, and that is the war in the Eastern Mediterranean. Joe, you and Kayleigh are just hardwired into this. Should we expect news this weekend?
No. I am getting a little bored of the let's wake up Monday and see if we're back at war routine. Right. There's a reluctance to go long into the weekend because you're asking me about this, Tom, but the president says we're easing back. We're low-keying it. And this looks like it's going to be a long-term economic strangle as opposed to a kinetic military.